If you have been active in the tech job market, you would know that the tech job market is pretty tough right now. And it is especially true if you're applying for junior data scientist roles. Landing a job as a junior data scientist is very, very tough in today's job market. My name is Anwar and I've been working in the tech industry for over the last 15 years, and over the last 6 months I've done a lot of research on the latest trends in the tech job market. And in this video I'll break down what are the main reasons why junior data scientists are having such a hard time finding a job and what could be some potential solutions to that problem. Now, to understand why it is so difficult to land a job as a junior data scientist, let's first look at the overall tech job market. If you look at the job trends on trueup.io, it shows that in the last couple of months there has been a little bit increase in the number of job postings, but it is still comparatively much lower as compared to 2022 levels. Also, the data coming from layoffs.fyi is not very encouraging. In 2024 alone, so far there has been over 137,000 layoffs. 26,000 layoffs just the prior month of August. So if you do a comparison that there are about 215,000 job openings, but 137,000 people have been let go of their jobs, which would be competing for these jobs, it means that there is not a lot of room left for newcomers who are trying to land their first job in this tough job market. So overall, the tech job market is not doing good at all. But the situation is even more difficult for junior data scientist roles. For example, when we go to LinkedIn jobs and see that how many data scientist job openings are available in the United States, we see that there are more than 6,000 job openings. But when I apply this filter of experience level and just filter down to entry-level roles and internships, I see that only 1,200 jobs are left. Now, when you look closely, you see that even when I have applied the filter of entry level and internship, I see job roles like lead applied data scientist, principal data scientist, which are clearly not entry level roles. So LinkedIn is not doing a good job of filtering just the entry level roles. So my hunch is that if we actually look at jobs which are entry level friendly, they will be even much lower than the numbers LinkedIn is showing here. The other problem is that even for the roles which are entry level, if you look at the job description, you would see that even they require 2 to 3 years of experience, which is not true for someone who has just graduated from college. And even the bigger problem is that for the roles which are entry level friendly, you would see there is a lot of competition for those. For example, this job post does not mention explicitly any prior experience, but it was posted 2 weeks ago in Atlanta and it already has over 100 applicants. Now, these are the applicants which LinkedIn has been tracking, so it's possible that there are a lot more which are applying on company's website directly. And you should also know that LinkedIn, when the number of applicants goes above 100, even if it is 1,000 or 10,000, it just shows over 100. So over 100 basically means that there is a lot of competition and we don't know what is the exact number of applicants. So if you are a fresh grad and you are applying for this role, because this is one of the very few roles which do not explicitly mention any prior experience, the problem you land into is that there will be a lot of competition for this role and you would be competing against other people who have 3 years, 5 years, even 8 to 10 years of experience, because these people have been laid off recently and they are trying to just get any job they can. So I know I've painted a very bleak and dark picture here, but that's just the reality of today's tech job market. I'm not making anything on my own. I've shown you all the resources I've been consulting for this. So now the question is that what can someone who is just out of college, do not have a lot of good experience under their belt, what can they do to land their first job in today's tough tech job market? Well, I have some recommendations. First things first, you should prepare really well for your interviews and should have a very solid command on the most data science concepts which can be asked in the interview. I've linked to a free resource on the roadmap to crack data science and ML interviews. The link for that would be in the description below. You can use it to see that what should be the level of preparation needed to get into data science interviews and where you currently stand. The second thing is that if you are having a hard time landing a data scientist or machine learning engineer role, what you should try to do is look for adjacent roles which do not have a lot of competition but still gets your foot in the door. Some of these roles could be data analyst, business analyst, or if you have specializations into a certain kind of machine learning, for example NLP engineers or computer vision machine learning engineers, then apply for these adjacent roles, as these tend to have much lower competition than just standard data scientist roles or machine learning engineer roles. I personally think that for someone who is just getting started, landing a job as a data analyst is much easier task than getting a job as a data scientist or machine learning engineer. If you look at total number of job openings for freshers, for data scientist versus data analyst has more job openings. Also, the interview bar there is much lower, so then you just have to focus on SQL, Python, and some data visualization tools, and even very basic understanding of statistical concept is usually considered enough. So it has usually a low hiring bar, and once you get your foot in the door as a data analyst, 80% of the time you would be doing the same thing if you were hired as a data scientist. So all the experience you gain there is very, very valuable, and maybe in your next role you can apply for data scientist role or machine learning engineer role. The third tip I would have for you is try to get a free unpaid internship. In the tight economic situation a lot of startups are going through currently, it is very possible that if you proactively reach out and try to build some connections with local startups, they might be eager to hire you unpaid for some of the data scientist or machine learning engineer roles. So consider it an on-job training, though you won't be getting paid in cash, but the amount of experience you'll gain there, the number of connections you'll form there, and most importantly, a worth mentioning name on your resume, it goes a long way for you to get your next job once you have worked there for 6 to 12 months. And in a lot of cases, if your performance is good, so it is quite possible and actually very common that unpaid gig actually becomes your first paid job. The last thing I would say is that don't lose hope. Tech job market has been pretty tough for pretty much everyone, even experienced people, though of course it impacts a lot more if you do not have much experience. But things were not this tough always. There are many reasons which led to this tough tech job market environment. The main reason has been that the interest rates have been very high lately. But the good thing is Fed has recently significantly reduced interest rates, and they have indicated plans to lower it to a much lower level in the coming months. Now you won't see an immediate change in the job market when the interest rates go down, but lowering interest rates will definitely help with the job market in the coming months. So I've been saying the same thing for last many months, that in the coming summer, April, May, June of 2025, you'll see that the tech job market would be in a much better shape as it is today. So if you are struggling, don't lose hope. Things will get better. Just focus on what you can control, which is number one, your preparation. And for that, use the free resource which I have mentioned before. The link for that is in the description below. And also try to land a job in some adjacent roles, especially explore data analyst, and try to see if you can get some free unpaid internships. I've created a separate video on the topic of how you can find some jobs which do not have a lot of competition, which increases your chances of standing out and actually getting selected manifolds. The link for that should be somewhere here. Please check it out. I'm pretty sure you like it. Thank you so much for watching.